Hey interwebs, we are live and online on this here World Wide Web, and we're going to play some D&D. So welcome to the Wily Hobbit network of tabletop role-playing games. I can only say that because we have like multiple days now where we have gaming, so I think that makes us like some kind of a network or something, and then when people host us we become an Uber network, so that's exciting. So welcome chatters and viewers and stuff. Make sure you keep things happening in chat, say lots of things and all of that. We're going to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and we are, if you hadn't figured it out by now, going to play Dragon of Icespire Peak, and this is session 6 already, kind of hard to believe. Last week, thanks for the sub, man. Very nice, Andrew. Appreciate that very much. Last week, we had us a kind of a wrap up, a dwarven excavation, kind of an archaeological site. The party went out there at the request of Townmaster Harbin Wester, and they were to warn these dwarves of this potential white dragon situation going on. And so they wrapped up. They warned the dwarves. The dwarves wouldn't come back to Phandalin with them like the townmaster had hoped because they wanted to do their thing. But the dwarves paid the party with a pair of magical sending stones to help them rid their little archaeological site of dangers and so forth. And they encountered, over 2 sessions, they encountered 3 ochre jellies, a bunch of treasure, some nasty, holy symbols from this evil dwarven temple that had been buried. It was a temple to Abathor. And as the party was leaving, they were attacked by a small group of orcs who were apparently planning to raid that little end of the canyon where that temple is. And so the party managed to dispatch them and find their way home to Phandalin safely. And so we're going to pick up. It'll be the morning of 18 Flame Rule, if you like to follow the calendar. That's a later summer month after midsummer. And the party is mostly at the Stonehill Inn in Phandalin. Lulu and Bryphon are at home in Phandalin. They are Phandalin locals. And so before we get into that, I'd like to go around the horn here and introduce everybody, or have them introduce themselves. So we'll start with Lulu down in the bottom right corner of your screen. So tell us who you are and who you're playing, what level, race, all that cool stuff.
Hello, I'm Rebecca. I'm playing Lulu, the level 2 druid kobold. And she's so happy to be home!
Yes, she is. All right, very good. Right across from you, back from a few episodes without being able to be with us, so we're super glad to have you back. Sabrina, tell us a little bit about your character, Bryphon.
Hello, I'm Sabrina. I'm level 2 Wood Elf Ranger, and after a 4-episode hiatus, I'm finally back and ready to play.
Man, we are so glad to have you back and glad you're doing well. And apparently it's chilly where you are because you seem to be snuggled up like a little burrito or like one of those crescent roll sort of situations you got going on there. Good. So you stay warm. Hopefully you won't see your breath, right? All right, well, let's go right above Bryphon to Lark and Channellogic.
Hey everybody, Channellogic across all the internet. And like Wiley said, I'm playing Lark, the level 2 changeling cleric, who is just normal.
Like all your characters.
Exactly.
Right. Actually, this one, out of my experience with your characters, this one appears to so far be the least not normal, the most normal.
Yeah.
Or maybe this persona is the most normal. Maybe that's what I'm getting fooled by the fact that this persona is kind of normal. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's go across the top row. Ezralyn, played by the effervescent Ms. Misery.
Hey, I am Keela, also known as Ms. Misery, and I am playing Ezra Lynn, who goes by Ezra, the half-orc fighter.
Excellent.
She likes to be quiet and loom.
And loom she does.
Is a loomer.
A loomer. And then finally we have Ethan. Chris, tell us a bit about Ethan.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris, WikiVA on the Discord and the Twitch. My Twitter handle is below. I play Ethan, the 23rd level human diviner, who is just a young man trying to make his way in a crazy world.
Yes. I'll just, for clarity's sake, I'll just post in chat, second level.
Oh, second level.
Yeah, you must be divining what you hope to be your
right
ultimate, achievement.
Yes.
Very nice.
That's
And then
second level is what I meant.
And if you notice, we have a dark vacancy in the center of the bottom row. Our friend Abby was unable to join us tonight for the stream. She plays Shokoli, who is a monk from the south, and so I'm assuming maybe somebody might be willing to pilot Shokoli should that need arise, or we could just say that Shokoli is not going to, accompany you on whatever you decide to do. Makes no difference to me. So, and my name, of course, is Scott. I'm Wally Hobbit. I'm your host for this evening's stream. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. A couple of quick housekeeping things. We will be rolling actual dice. This is a pretty well fully Theater of the Mind campaign. I don't mess around with Roll20 because no one really wants to sit and watch me struggle with technology. It's just not much fun for everybody. So we go Theater of the Mind. We use real shiny math rocks. I will post a few graphics or maps here and there so that you can at least get an idea, some visuals and some things to inspire your Theater of the Mind. Any other thoughts? Oh, if anybody, if we do happen to have combat and anybody scores a critical hit, you'll get to get max damage, which is max dice plus your mod, and then you get to roll your damage die again. And I will post this in the chat, and it's also in the panel below. But the way we are doing, like if you donate bits or make a cash donation, you will, for $5 or 500 bits, you can award a +2 to any die 20 roll, except for death saves, to the party. And currently they have 12 of these +2s. Or you could donate it to me, the DM, and then I could use that +2. So just indicate if you do make a donation who you'd like that to go to, the DM's pool or the party's pool. The way they use it is they first make the D20 roll, and then once they know the outcome, if they're 1 or 2 away, they can cause themselves to have a success by using one of the +2s. Only one can be used at a time. If you donate $10 or 1,000 bits, you can award a reroll of a D20 to the DM or to the party's pool. So, and I'll post those in chat as we get going so that you can be reminded of how that works. So, are we ready to play D&D? Has anybody got anything they want to share or ask or complain about before we start? All right, well, let's do this stuff. So, it's the morning of 18 Flame Rule, and you find yourselves, Ethan, Ezra, and Lark, Savannah, or Solana, excuse me. I'm just going to butcher that at every opportunity. You find yourselves in your room at the Stonehill Inn in Phandalin. And Lulu and Bryphon, you find yourselves at home in Phandalin. And I'll put up a map here real quick for the viewers so that they can see what Phandalin looks like. Players, you'll be able to see that in a couple of minutes on stream once you get past the delay. So it is early. The sun is cresting. It's another beautiful, clear summer morning. I have my cursor moving around the Stonehill Inn. It's the dwelling with the gabled entryway and the gray pitched roof. The town master's hall is a block south. Bryphon and Lulu are down here in the residence, the Ierson residence, the family that they have become a part of these past few years here in Phandalin. So, how would you like to start things off, gang? What would you like to do? It's first thing in the morning. The rooster has crowed. The sun has broken the horizon. There's a little mist, but it's all in all a pretty clear morning.
Little's gonna go get up early and go for a jog.
Okay.
So I think Ethan would I take it this is a long rest. We've had a long rest now.
Yes, you should take a long rest in D&D Beyond for your character. Everybody managed to do that. You weren't up super late. So yes, by all means, everyone should benefit from the long rest.
So Ethan would go down early as well, and when he saw Toblin, he would say to Toblin, I am concerned about my friend. I'm concerned about my friend, Solana.
Oh,
Yes, she was very injured when she came when we returned, and I think I would like to bring her a cup of coffee and make sure she's all right. She was in room 8, isn't that?
yes,
Is my memory correct?
that's correct. Yeah, yes, I can get you a pot of coffee together. Do you know if she takes anything with her coffee?
Oh, I'm sure she takes it, black.
Very well. If you'll just wait here, she wasn't injured badly, I hope.
Oh, I think she's going to be fine. I just want to make sure she's well this morning.
Yes, of course, right away.
I'm very concerned.
Is there anything I can get for you, Ethan?
You can just bring maybe a couple of cups.
Okay, very well. You're just so kind to be concerned. That's lovely. It's good to have friends like you.
Yes.
And he stumps off to the kitchen through the doors. It's pretty quiet right now in the inn. Most of the time, you don't get a lot of traffic in there unless travelers are in there and up early. The locals tend to not come in based on what you would assume would be maybe after chores, being a fairly agricultural. It's farming and mining out here, aside from the few shops that are in town. So most regulars don't get in here until after they get their morning chores taken care of. So right now the tap room is empty, and after a couple minutes, Toblin bounces out with a pot of coffee, and it's a dark metal pot. There's like a towel around the handle so that you don't burn yourself, and there's a couple of cups on a small tray with some sweetener and a little bit of fresh milk.
I'm going to take it and say thank you, and I'm going to hustle up to up the stairs to the 8th room.
Okay, who's jogging again?
Ezralyn.
Ezralyn, okay, yeah. And as you make your way around town, Ezralyn and jog, I don't know if you're going to get out into the countryside, but it's just a beautiful morning. Birds are chirping and singing. It smells beautiful, except for maybe the smell of animal waste if you happen to get too close to any farms. But it's just a beautiful day out here in the foothills of the Sword Mountains. So Ethan, you're going to go to room 8.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast message, and I'm going to say to Solana, are you well?
I'm mildly hungover. What do you want?
I've brought you coffee.
Why?
Because we're traveling. Well, I guess my message spell only lasted the one sentence, so now I'll be saying it through the door. Because we're traveling companions, and I was concerned about your injuries.
Give me a minute, and I'll put on all my armor and my clothes and stuff, and I'll go answer the door.
Good, it's good to see you. And I hand her the tray of the coffee, and then I just walk in to the room, and I say, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you walking around today. And as I'm entering the room, I'm going to look around and see what I see.
Roll perception, maybe? I don't know how obvious my stuff is.
So I got a 9.
I mean, her shield's leaning up against her desk. She has one bag. And her book, the one that had the symbol of Kellamvor, is just sitting on the desk. Not open though, but there's plenty of different stuff shoved into different pages that makes you think it's obviously been well read and written in. Other than that, nothing to see. Her bed's military precision made.
Is there a chair in this room?
I'd assume so, at the little table that acts as a desk.
So Ethan's going to sit down in the chair, and he's going to say, so how are you this morning? You're feeling better, I presume?
Oh yes, well rested and recovering from I don't like to use certain necromantic spells, but I needed to bolster my health in our last mission, so I've recovered from that though.
Yes, good. It's always good to be prepared. Guess who I saw last night in the tavern? I saw your friend Jarvis.
Again?
Yes. How is he?
I don't know. I haven't personally seen him. I
Really?
kind of can't
Oh,
see him.
well, why is that?
Well, he constantly causes trouble, and I prefer not to talk to him anymore.
Oh, I believe he thinks you're friends.
Yes, he does think that. I'm very aware that he thinks that. But in my opinion, is a pain in my side that I cannot get rid of.
Well, he was speaking last night to an elf female down in the bar.
Oh dear. Was he hitting on her?
Well, I since he assaulted me in the tavern, I've kept clear of him.
He assaulted you?
Well, yes, not physically. More verbally.
Yeah, he does that. You shouldn't get used to it, but you get used to it and you're stuck with him.
Well, so I didn't hear what he was saying, but I did see him leave.
He did.
Yes, he came up the stairs and he entered this room.
Oh,
You didn't see him?
I drank a lot of wine last night and I fell asleep. I only just woke up when you knocked on the door, or sent me a very disturbing message that just appeared in my head and scared the shit out of me.
Well, that is unusual. How long have you known Jarvis?
You know, it's funny. I don't know. He's just always been there. Strange.
When you think back, what is your first memory as a child?
Probably sitting in the kitchen I was an orphan for a while. I'm not technically part of the Brigalore family, like I said. It's adopted. Sitting in the kitchen with one of the cooks, and she was showing me how to make a treacle tart. I can't remember the recipe, but I remember it tasting very good.
A happy memory.
I'd say so. I did burn myself on the stove, but I was stupid. Kid.
I found that most people have a happy first memory. Do you know what my first memory is as a child?
I'm going to assume not happy.
My first memory as a child were nightmares. I remember them from a very young age. Nightmares and voices. You ever had voices, Solana?
I mean, I commune with the god of the dead. Of course I hear his voice every once in a while.
But in a nightmare. Have you ever heard voices in a nightmare?
Well, yes, but to be quite frank with you, I don't have nightmares. I hear voices in my dreams of my friends.
And where do you think Jarvis would have gone now?
Well, back when we lived together in Suzale, he frequently climbed out windows.
So he possibly came into your room and climbed out your window.
It's plausible. I don't know how he had a key to my room, though.
Yet he did somehow.
What was he wearing?
Do I remember what he was wearing? I don't know that I remember. He was in the tavern. I saw him. I found it curious that he was there. And I wanted to see where he was going. I'm not sure I trust him.
Don't. He's a con man. Always has been, always will be. He's not who you think he is.
Well, I am certain of that. Certain of that.
Starting to wonder if anyone I know is who they think they are. Which may sound confusing, but trust me, I know a lot of strange people.
Well, that I can understand. We have to be, I'm concerned about Jarvis, as I said, and I want to make sure that you're in no danger.
Well, I can control Jarvis to a degree.
Really? How is that?
I don't think he knows that he's not Jarvis.
You don't think he knows that he's not Jarvis?
It's complicated, and I'd rather not tell you.
But if he's not Jarvis, who would he be?
I'm not Solana either.
You're not Solana.
I'm
Are you
also,
Jarvis?
I'm yes and no. We're both not us. But I'm the only one of them that knows that they're not us. You see?
So far what I've got is you're not Solana, Jarvis is not Jarvis, Jarvis doesn't know he's not Jarvis, but Solana knows that she's not Solana, and Jarvis isn't Jarvis.
I mean, it's weird because I am Solana. I am. That is who I am, but I'm not real. But I'm the only one of us that knows I'm not real. Besides Lark.
Lark? Who's that?
Lark is me, who I really am.
So you're Lark.
Yes.
And Jarvis is...
Jarvis is also Lark, but he thinks he's Jarvis and doesn't accept... He might know, but he doesn't accept that we're Lark.
You're both Lark.
Yes. I know it sounds very strange. But we're not... Maybe we were. I don't know how Lark came up with us. But...
And so where is Lark now?
Me,
You're Lark.
Hold on a second. And then Lark is going to shift into what they really look like. So before you stands a slender, very pale, bald changeling with bright pink eyes in the usual attire, the padded armor.
When you say change, can you describe that for us?
Solana's slender features sort of round out. The jaw squares and the nose becomes more broad. The pigment disappears completely from her skin, and the hair seems to just blow away. And before you stands a completely different person.
So you can change your appearance.
Yes.
I've known of wizards that can do that.
I'm
no wizard. I'm a changeling.
Changeling. Have I ever heard of a changeling before?
That's a good question, Ethan. Roll me a history.
Roll you a history. Oh, I got a 20 plus 3 is 23.
Okay. Yeah, so you're the fellow that you apprenticed with. Juril. Is that right? Jyril?
Yeah, Jaril.
Juril, sorry. Juril had taught you about a race of humanoids that could change form. And so you think that this is probably one of those race. Lark has referred to themselves as a changeling.
Well, I've heard that changelings, as you call yourself, might well exist. This seems to me proof that that's true.
Well, we definitely exist, although a lot of us live in communes with each other. I never did. I didn't know what I was until I started being able to become people. I typically hide because people do not look kindly on changelings.
Well, that explains a lot. That explains why Jarvis entered this room. He has the key because Lark has the key.
Yes. He refuses to accept that he is a persona. I cannot always control them very well. They have a mind of their own. Solana may be the only one that knows that she's not real. She's too smart. I couldn't hide it from her.
So, are there more than just Jarvis and Solana?
It is complicated. I'm sure you gathered as much, but I can change into anyone. I could change into you.
I'm not
But
sure the world's ready for two of us.
No, probably not. I wouldn't have any of your powers. I would just look and sound like you. And there is one other one that I can't control very well. He's a bit much, but he comes in handy. If you ever see a large dragonborn named Juggernaut, it's probably me.
Juggernaut.
He goes by Jug, and he's not the brightest, but he does work well to intimidate, and sometimes he's needed.
Well, this has been quite enlightening.
Yes.
I am willing to keep your secret.
I'd hope you say that, but
I will keep your secret.
quite frankly, the only reason I'm telling you this is because everyone thinks you're insane and no one will ever believe you.
Well, I was concerned that you may be under possession. Solana may have been under possession.
Sometimes I wish it was that simple, but it's not. They are all servants of Kellamvor, as I am, but each of them has their own life. I don't know how, but they do.
I've met people in the not too distant past who, although they couldn't change their shape or form, they had different beings within themselves, if that makes sense, different, personalities that they couldn't control. And it was quite difficult for them and troubling for someone not afflicted so to see. Not that you suffer from an affliction, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
It's complicated. When I am the others, they hear my voice as their conscience. Solana listens to it. Jarvis does not. Jug, I don't know if he hears me at all. But we all are on the same mission, just some of them lie about what we're doing.
So they all know that we've had this conversation.
They might, if I let them. Solana probably already figured it out.
Well,
Jarvis is probably too tired to care.
Well, I will keep your secret. If there's anything I can do, please let me know.
Try to get along with Jarvis, I guess, if he interacts with you.
Well,
He's not the best person, but he tries.
I will do that. I will do that to the best of my ability. I we all have our cross to bear, I guess, in life.
Yes, well, I'm fairly certain Shokoli might know a little bit about this.
Oh,
Lana might have said something. She trusts her for some reason. I don't know.
it's probably the funny voice.
Yeah, funny voice. That's gotta be it. I'm gonna take a sip of the coffee that's been cooling on the table.
Well, I won't monopolize any more of your time. If you need anything, please let me know. And then he'll get up out of the chair and he'll take the other cup off the tray and he'll start walking out the door.
All right. Interesting. We will pan to the Ierson household, where Lulu and Bryphon reside. It's morning. You're awakening. How do you start your day today?
I would assume Lulu is skittering about the banisters, doing her chores, like taking care of the fireflies and eating jerky occasionally.
Yeah, Mary would be kind of chasing you around with a broom, picking up after you, scolding as needed, reminding you to eat all of your breakfast, including the parts you don't like, and telling you to not make too much noise because Bryphon came in kind of late last night from Adabra Gwyn's windmill, and she's going to let Bryphon sleep in just a little bit.
But Mama Egg's evil.
Eggs are not evil.
Eggs are baby kobolds. No, you can't eat them.
No. These are chicken eggs, dear. Totally different. Delicious.
Cocked her head, confused.
They're totally different eggs. Don't worry.
No.
So what are your plans?
Lulu plans?
Yeah. What are you going to do today? You going to see your new friends again?
Lulu not know of friends. Probably check if needed at the inn.
That's a good idea.
Then Bryphon comes out of her room because she
Mhm.
got woken up. She's wrapped up in a blanket. She comes out all sleepily. She's like, "What time is it?"
Hi.
I knew I heard you, Lulu. You woke me up.
Just stares at you, just like a blank face.
Then Bryphon gives a big yawn. She goes back into her room. And then she starts to get dressed, puts her armor and everything on, and then she comes out. "Okay, Lulu, you ready to head to the inn?"
Bryphon, dear, don't you want something to eat? You were out so late last night. You must be exhausted.
She kind of looks off. "Yeah, I guess I should probably eat something."
No eggs. No eggs.
She hands you some bacon. I can make you some eggs very quickly if you'd like.
No.
Yeah, I'll take some.
Very well.
Lulu's like on the floor.
She calls Lulu over to the iron stove where she's doing her cooking. Lulu, dear, come here.
What, Mama?
She places a chicken egg in your hand. You see how small that is, sweetie?
Tiny kobold egg.
Kobold eggs are much bigger. There's no baby kobolds in there.
She just looks at it, looks at the egg, looks at Mary, looks at the egg. Tiny kobold egg.
She cracks the egg out into a little wooden bowl, and she
Lulu's
shows
like-
you. See, no kobold. It's just the yolk. And she kind of stirs it up and cracks another one in there. See, no kobolds. It's okay. No kobolds. And she makes your breakfast, Bryphon, cooks the eggs and puts them on a plate for you to sit and eat. Do you want a coffee, dear? Anything to drink? Maybe some toasted bread?
I will take a coffee, please.
Very well. Lulu, do you want anything to drink before you go over to the inn? And she gets your coffee. She pulls a metal pot off the hearth, pours you a nice hot cup of coffee and sets it in front of you. Lulu, do you want anything to drink before you go to the inn?
Lulu grieving dead kobold egg.
She rolls her eyes and walks away. She kind of flicks you with a towel. Silly Lulu. Guess we'll have to show her where chicken eggs come from.
Then Bryphon chuckles and looks at Lulu and says, Lulu, come here.
What?
Then she points at her eggs. She says, see, look, these are chicken eggs, not kobold eggs.
Chicken same shape as kobold, close enough.
Do you really think we would eat kobolds when you're a kobold, Lulu?
Kobold not stranger to cannibalism. In a hard time.
Bryphon quickly finishes her food, drinks her coffee, and then she pulls out a big piece of beef jerky out of her little sack, and says, come on, Lulu, come on. And then she waves it in front of Lulu's face.
She pounces.
Hey, you girls be careful, and if you leave town, you let me know. All right? Oh, and Toblin was in here yesterday, and he said what a good job you're doing, so Mommy's very proud of you. She kind of winks at you.
DM question.
Yeah.
I don't know if his name is a spoiler or not, but would Rotor be around?
Your brother?
No, Rotor.
Oh, your dad.
Yeah.
He is off already this morning. He's
Okay,
gone.
so he's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's out in the woods gathering various supplies for the apothecary. He's often up and out the door pretty early,
Gotcha.
whether he's in town, whether he's off gathering or hunting, trading elsewhere. He's kind of the one who travels for the business.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
If we make it back home early enough to see Papa before he goes to sleep.
Yes, he would like to see you very much. He's very interested in hearing about your latest adventures, your trip to Adabra, and the trip to see the dwarves.
Lulu just want to fly.
Lulu wants to fly, huh?
She's she's yeeting is not a term in medieval times, but it's referring to that.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Vote we make it a thing.
What's that, Ezralyn?
I vote we make yeeting a thing.
Hey.
Will be yeet.
All right, so
It has been decided that kobolds get yeeted occasionally from bigger things.
I can see that happening.
But anyway, sorry. Just
You're
wanted
fine,
to make
you're
sure I knew where he was.
Yep, he's off doing his thing. So you two leave the house. Mary gives you hugs and kisses, as is customary, and pats you on the rear end, Lulu, and squeezes your shoulder, Bryphon. Now keep an eye on her. I know it's a lot to ask. She can be a handful, but you always take good care of her. And you can...
He was occupied with in the bag eating the giant jerky thing she got.
You can make your way over to Stonehill Inn. Ezralyn, you're out jogging.
Yeah.
As you're coming back into town from your run, just again a beautiful, just a glorious summer morning. People are out. You get a couple of curious looks, like they don't recognize you, um, and you're just out kind of running around. You get some waves. Some seems like a friendly enough town. People are out working on their farms. Some of the shops are starting to open. The Miners Exchange, the Lion Shield Coster, kind of the merchant store. The apothecary's not open yet as you run through, but yeah, you have a uneventful jog. How far do you go?
Probably out around the edges of town just to come back in.
Okay.
With occasional sprints.
Okay.
Just staying in condition and shit.
Yeah, little workout. Anything you'd like to do while you're out?
Not really.
Okay. All right, so you have no problem making your way back to the Stonehill Inn. As you're coming in, you see Lulu and Bryphon coming up to the inn. Lulu and Bryphon, you see Ezralyn apparently running back to the inn for some reason.
I would, when I saw them, I'd pull my sleeves of my shirt down, wave, and just duck into the inn as quickly as possible. And she'll go up to her room and clean up and put on her normal attire.
Okay. Very good. So, Bryphon and Lulu, you can go on into the inn. Toblin greets you. Good morning, ladies. How are we doing after your little trip out of town?
Morning, need help today?
Yeah, I could use some help. I need some help cleaning in the kitchen. Bryphon, I'm all set for meat for a while. The party that returned last evening brought me a whole bunch of bird meat from an axebeak situation that you all encountered. So thank you for your help with that. But yeah, Lulu, if you want to go back in the back and help clean some things out, that would be wonderful. Can I get you girls anything?
Bryphon sits at the bar and says, "Can I have your biggest cup of coffee, please? It has been a long night."
Yes. I understand you were up to the windmill and stayed a day or two with Adabra. How was that? And he's pours your coffee and sets it in front of you.
No, it was something. Then she takes a big old chug of her coffee. And then somebody woke me up early this morning, and she looks at Lulu.
He kind of
Lulu's sorry, not sorry.
he gives you a knowing glance and kind of shakes his head. And well, I can't imagine what it must be like living with that little angel.
It's like having a cat.
Ah, yes. There are some cats around the inn, so he's immediately knows exactly what you're talking about. Ethan, did you come back downstairs?
Sorry about that.
It's okay, buddy.
Dog noise.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, he came back downstairs and he would sit in the main room and at his normal table.
Okay, yeah, very good. You, there's a few humans in there. You would presume maybe farmers. Some folks you haven't seen in a little while. There's a pair of halflings, Lightfoot halflings, and they're twins actually, a male and a female, and they are seated together near one of the open windows, drinking coffee and eating what looks to be some sort of small round cakes and some sausages, and they're just talking, kind of a lively conversation. They're kind of some of the halflings you've encountered are dressed brightly, maybe even sometimes like little bells and baubles on their gear. But these folks are a little more drab, a little more rundown looking. In fact, give me perception.
I got a 20, 18 plus 2.
Yeah, you can see that they've probably already been at work this morning because they've both got like long curls of shaved wood. hanging from their clothes. There's sawdust and wood shavings here and there on their clothing. Very kind of utilitarian work clothes. And from your brief time in town that they kind of run a little coopery. They do wood carving, coopering, and some boyery work. So, they make arrows and bows and barrels and things of wood. And a lot of their stuff, they just sell it through Barthen's Provisions and the Lion Shield Coster in town. Other than that, you see Bryphon and Lulu come in, have a conversation with Toblin. Bryphon sits at the bar, has her coffee. It smells of bacon. There's a wood fire in the hearth. It's just a nice, pleasant morning all the way around.
Yeah, Ethan will sit at his table, ignore everyone, and drink his coffee.
Okay. You would have seen Ezra come in and go straight upstairs. Ezra, when you come through, Toblin catches your eye and nods and smiles, kind of waves, regards you. Okay.
Yeah, no, she'll quickly clean up, change, and come back down. She'll probably sit down next to Ethan.
Oh, my traveling companion. How are you this morning?
I'm awake.
Remember the warning I gave you and Shokoli yesterday? Remember, be vigilant?
I always am.
Well, you can, I think we're fine. I think everything's resolved. You can still be vigilant, of course. That's always wise.
I'll take your word for it.
Good. That's what companions do.
Tobler Stonehill walks up as you are talking. Good to see you, Ezralyn. I hope you're well after your travels. Could I get you anything to eat or drink? Perhaps a pot of coffee? He kind of drying his hands off on his apron.
Bread and cheese would be good, thank you.
Very well. Anything to drink with that?
Just water.
Very well. Coming up. Ethan, are you okay? Do you have everything you need?
I'm fine, thank you.
Very well. He wanders off. There's the usual staff in and out working. You see Lulu bopping around, and after a few moments, he comes back out with your breakfast and doesn't really say much. Just kind of smiles and nods and goes back to doing something in the back of the house, leaving you two to your conversation.
So you were out this morning.
Yes, I went for a run.
Any word on the dragon? They say it made an appearance.
I didn't really stop to talk to anyone, but people seemed a little shook up, but not terribly fearful.
Well, we should find out more about it if we can.
Might as well. Might be some gold in it.
Yeah, and we don't want to be around if the dragon decides to attack.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
How did you sleep? How are you? Any visions?
Good. Well, I always have something. Nothing of any consequence, I think.
Very well then. And she'll lapse into silence and just eat.
One of the things we should do today is get paid for the jobs we've already done.
Most definitely. I said that's probably our next stop as soon as everybody comes.
Mhm. Perhaps pick up a few more jobs.
Hopefully. My pockets are getting kind of light. Definitely need to add to that.
And it seems to me that the more jobs we do, the more knowledge we gain, and I think that's a pretty valuable commodity around here.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's winning any contests for the brain category around here.
Mm. That's, I certainly won't debate that. But I think there's a lot of danger around here. Something's not right.
I agree. I've had a bad feeling since we got here. You're definitely right. Something is just not right. Don't know what it is, but I've learned to trust my instincts over the years, and right now they're making themselves known.
Mm. Well, hopefully we can get to the bottom of whatever's going on, earn some coin, and then make our next move.
Most definitely. I need to get a.
I'm still concerned about that sword, by the way. You did hit those jellies with it. Could have sustained some damage. I would hate to see that sword break in half.
Well, I'm looking to replace it soon. I want to get a newer sword and some new armor. And then she'll kind of show the one she has, and you can see like it's very well used armor, but also there's areas where it looks like brands have been removed. And of course, her sword is well loved and well used, but
Well, that would probably be a wise investment.
you have to have coin for that. And that is something I'm sorely lacking. I have a whole. Oh, I haven't got that much gold to my name, so.
Well, once we get paid and divvy up what we've already found, that should help you. That should help your cause.
No, always hope. Hey, you never know. Maybe if we next time we wander down into some lovely ruins, we'll find some pretty armor. Or some spells for you.
Mm. Yeah, perhaps.
Oh. Do you have any... I've always wanted to know magic better. Do you have any books on it, even?
Well, I have a spell book.
No. I probably wouldn't be able to read that.
But no, I don't carry reference manuals with me. When I lived in Waterdeep, there was a library. Of course, there's a big library in Waterdeep. It has all kinds of volumes that might interest you. I frequented it, studied there.
Yeah. It was just a passing. Ow! Off screen, my cat just really badly clawed me.
Quinn would like some attention, please.
I keep taking a hair tie from her. Oh, here.
Roll for initiative.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sneak attack.
Yeah, it was just a passing thought. First time in a long time I've had some free time. Figured I'd take up reading in my retirement.
Well, that's a good hobby to have, reading, and I too enjoy studying and good books, and maybe we'll come across some as we travel together.
One can hope.
I heard someone say books. Solana's just like right behind you guys. She'd come down the stairs. Somebody mentioned books, research material? Yes?
Talking about studying and looking for books of interest.
Well, if we want to know more about the region, I suggest we talk to the elfin woman that you saw Jarvis talking to last night.
I would suggest we go to the library, but My bet
doubt
is
this-
there is no library in this place.
Yeah, I don't think reading is a pastime here.
No, this is like a knowledge vacuum, I think.
Feels like it.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just think their knowledge is a little different than what you would expect from a book. I'm sure if you ask any one of these people about farming or agriculture, they would know scads more than either of us.
It could be.
Not that it would do us much good unless we plan to become farmers, but still knowledgeable nonetheless.
We were talking more in academic pursuits.
Oh well. I mean, perhaps the apothecary has something.
Hmm. Oh, like I said, passing thought. And she'll just go back to eating and trying not to make small talk.
Toblin will wander up to the table. Ah, good morning, Solana. I see you've got your coffee already, and he kind of smiles at Ethan.
Yes.
Can I get you anything to eat?
Surprised me with whatever is popular with the locals. I haven't been exactly adventurous.
Ah,
with my eating
Very
habits.
well. I'll get you a couple of fried cakes then, and some bacon.
Thanks.
Nice. He hustles off, and he smiles and looks at Bryphon. Bryphon, your friends are all well, except for that one different-looking fellow with the feathers isn't around. But otherwise, the rest of them are at the table. Feel free to join them. And he kind of pats you on the shoulder and heads into the kitchen to get Solana's breakfast going.
Ezra and I were talking, Solana, and we think that obviously we need to get paid this morning
Oh,
from
great.
our friend I've already forgotten his name.
Harbin Wester.
Harbin, from our friend Harbin. And then we should probably think about dividing up what we've already found and then plotting our next move.
That's a good idea. There's a lot of weed talk. Are we all officially like a group?
Aren't we?
I mean, I suppose so. It hadn't occurred to me. I figured we'd all go our separate ways after this.
I've already foreseen this.
Right. How long have you foreseen us being together?
Well, I must admit, I've never foreseen you being part of the group. I just assumed that you come as a package deal. My vision was one of Ezralum, and I've had that vision for many, many years.
So I'm just the third wheel.
No, I just didn't see you in the vision. But Ezra's my traveling companion. The rest of you are also my traveling companions.
I zoned out for a minute. What are you two talking about?
We were talking about being traveling companions.
Yes.
And how?
Okay.
And how, after we get paid and divide up the loot, we should plot our next course.
As long as it means there's more gold coming our way, I'm perfectly fine with that. I have stuff to buy.
Yes, true.
Toblin slides your breakfast in front of you, and it's 4 strips of very thick cut bacon, pork belly that's been smoked, and 3 kind of smallish little cakes that look like some kind of like a fried batter almost, like they've been fried in some kind of oil or butter. And they're a little corny and a little sweet, but they are tasty.
As I nosh on those. I don't know if it would be best financially if we all stuck together, but at the same time, Ethan did have a habit of going down and almost dying once or twice. I don't know how
It was
well.
only once.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Long term, sticking together means more money. If we form a group, give ourselves a fancy name, we could be mercenaries, we could take on larger, bigger jobs as we get more used to each other. Look, I've I've been working in ranks of various sorts since I was 12. I think I'm 35, so it's been a long time. I can tell you this is would be, in my opinion, the safest and easiest option for us to put some gold away, at least for a while, is if we stick together. Bigger jobs, better gold, better money, better reputation. I mean, we've all heard about the big mercenary companies and their famous members. I have no interest in being famous. I'm too old for that shit. I'm not too old for gold.
Yes, I see that, but traveling together just. I mean, I'm no mercenary, I'm a scholar.
No, but they always need somebody with brains in the party.
Oh dear.
Plus, I've seen you heal. We mercenary companies or groups, adventuring. What are we gonna call ourselves? A venturing guild, a venturing group. A bunch of dumb fucks in a group. I don't care. I don't know. It's you always need healing.
I'm not so much healing as I am preventative care. I can't save anyone from dying very well. If anything, the small kobold heals better than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a passing thought. Like I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now.
Well,
I'm trying to figure things out.
this is our destiny. We are traveling companions.
Oh dear. Destiny aside, I would feel much safer with you, Ezra. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders, and I also have no idea what I'm doing anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, it's complicated, but I'm not really on an anthropological study. That's what I want to do, but it's not what my group wants to do, so
A group?
I'm kind of a one-man band. Can I tell you a secret that well, it's not much of a secret to Ethan, but I'll give you the very short version since that seems to be the kind of version you enjoy. I'm a changeling.
Ezra's face loses all expression. Just, you get the stone stare at that point.
I know that you might not like changelings. Most people don't. That's why I don't advertise it. But I'm just one of a few people that I can be. You know Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also Jarvis, but I'm not, because I'm Solana. He's Jarvis, but we're somebody else.
You are multiple people in one changeling body?
Yes, sort of. That's the simplest way to put it, yes.
Well, when you're in the different ones, introduce yourself and I'll try not to kill you.
Duly noted. I can come in handy, though. I can be anyone. So I may not have healing skills like I should, but I can do other things. So I'm not entirely useless.
Not to put a fine point on the obvious here, Ezra, but it is clear to me now that Solana is not possessed.
That's always a benefit.
For her, it certainly is.
Where I haven't been piloting Ezra as much as I should have been. What has Ezra seen about Solana's powers?
Basically, you've seen her cut a man to ribbons using what was it? Inflict wounds. She's, I think, decapitated somebody. She's melted people. And she's disapparated jellies.
We'll lean back in her seat, cross her arms, and say, "You're an interesting person, Lana. We'll see where that goes."
You don't think less of me, do you?
Like I said, I've seen a lot of shit. Just don't try to kill me and we'll be good. Just make sure to introduce yourself. If you're a changeling, I may not always know who you are. I tend to be on the suspicious side. Just introduce yourself. Let us have a code word, something. I don't care. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Is there
Traveling companions too.
a code word you had in mind?
Pineapple.
Okay. I'll introduce myself with the word pineapple from now on.
I'm joking. It can be a phrase or anything. I don't care.
There's a scuttling at your table. Sweet.
Lulu like pineapple.
Oh God, how long have you been there?
She's holding like a little cloth, like rubbing the floor under the table.
Lulu,
How much
have you heard anything we were talking about?
Lulu hear lots of things.
Okay, have you heard anything that was said here in the past 3 minutes? You're getting
Lulu
the
not good
Ezra
with
death
time.
stare.
Lulu not good with time.
Scrub.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard before pineapple? Sorry, fine, we're good.
I literally blind. I can't remember what you guys are talking about.
Well, at any rate, I have the notices from both Adabra and the lovely dwarven gents. As soon as we get everyone together, we can go off to Harbin and deal with that man. I don't have a good feeling about that man.
No, I don't like him either.
But he has money.
That's the important part.
Yes. Funding adventures has certainly not been easy. But thanks to the slaughter of all of those that attacked us the other day, we do have a bit more cash than we anticipated, as well as a few worthwhile things to sell, possibly to that very terse blacksmith.
Yeah.
Would you have any use of a dagger at all?
Me?
Yes.
Depends what it's like. And she'll pat the sword over her shoulder and the one on her hip. I'm more of a larger weapon type person, but daggers are always useful.
Well, and I have a few. We have the ritual dagger with the stone embedded in the hilt, and then we also have an elven dagger that I believe might have better cutting quality than most. +1 maybe.
To be useful to any of the rest of the party? I mean, there's
I'm not sure.
Lulu and Bri.
Lulu picks her head over the table and stares at Solana. And then back to Solana.
Do you want the
We
knife?
shouldn't give her a knife.
I don't know. She handles a spear pretty well.
You're not wrong.
But I don't think you need a knife, Lulu. You have claws and teeth.
Bryson like pointy things.
Where is Bryson?
Bryson gets up from the bar, walks over. Who says they're giving Lulu a knife?
I'm not giving Lulu a knife.
Oh. Deflates a little bit.
Lulu also like pointy things.
I know, Lulu, but like, you don't really need a knife.
Lulu, you don't need a knife. You do good on your own.
Bryson need knife.
I do need a knife.
Oh,
Any
well, I could give you this one of elven make. Perhaps it would be better suited for you anyway.
She picks it up, inspects it. Yeah, might as well have it.
Sure, it's out of character. It's a dagger +1.
Very
Okay.
beautifully crafted. You can tell with your experience with weapons and your heritage that it's definitely a nicely crafted elven blade. I believe it has a sapphire in the cross piece, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Shannon?
Yes. And the other ritual dagger, I think it had like
It has onyx in the palm.
yeah, an onyx something or other, which could be worth some gold. We have the sending stones, which I think we should hold on to those. Some gems and a 50 gold piece diamond. So, I mean, we're not flush with cash, but we're certainly doing much better than when I entered this town.
Hmm. Yeah. I know we have a blacksmith. Is there anybody around town that makes armor?
I think she also had armor, or was that someone else?
Yeah, the let me get the name of that real quick. It's the Line Shield Coster. If you remember meeting Lenine, the human gal, kind of gruff, she keeps armor and weapons there.
Do I remember seeing anything of note?
There's typical things. There's some like a breastplate. There's banded, splint, chain. She didn't have like a full suit of plate mail
Hmm.
and a variety of weapons.
All right. I doubt she has what I'm looking for, but always good to sell things and make friends.
Yeah, I don't think she's the make me friends sort. She reminds me a lot of you. Not
Hey,
that, well, not that you don't make friends, just that
fuck.
you're very rough and ready.
I am a perfectly nice person.
You
She's
scare
to
me
the
a lot,
point.
but I really enjoy it, and it's weird.
No small talk. Right to the point.
I just don't like small talk. I'm not good at it. I just sit there and be quiet and everything goes well.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how this other person
To
is.
be fair, we have kind of all gravitated towards you. In fact, you probably, and I don't know why I'm saying this, the most personable person in our group. I know I'm scared too.
His face is going between like kind of pouting, upset that something was said about her too, like just very confused and very uncomfortable. She's going between the three. I'm just gonna drink my coffee.
That's fair.
Lulu at this point is on the table cleaning around the cups with her little rag.
It's okay, Ezra. Lulu would say random things that make it feel better.
Okay.
Would you like some bacon, Lulu? I hold out a little strip of bacon.
She'll bluff at you real big. Just stare at it.
Here you go.
But Lulu on clock.
Well, I'm a patron, and I'm requesting that you eat this bacon. So I think that makes it okay.
She looks up to Bryson.
Bryson looks down. Lulu, it's okay. Go ahead.
Lulu will snatch it out of your hand and devour it very fast.
You know, I think I have a friend that would like you very much, Lulu. I hope you get to meet him at some point.
Friend? Another Kobo?
No, he's a big dragony type guy, but
Lulu like those.
he's a little weird though. But I feel like he'll listen to you. So, yeah. If you ever meet a man named Jug, just tell him you're friends with me and it'll be okay.
And our dragon. Lulu confused.
Well, he's a male of his species, I believe. I never asked. I thought it was rude. I'm assuming he is a Dragonborn. Slightly medium dragon.
Ooh, tiny dragon.
Yes, Lulu, tiny dragon. Lulu is also 6.
Also, what?
Lulu is also 6.
Oh, thanks! And she'll jump off the table and run back to the kitchen.
So, what would you all like to do?
Well, if everyone's finished with breakfast, we can head on over to Harbin. Bryson, can you and Lulu get away from work to join us, or would you prefer we bring money back to divvy up with you?
Well, I'm not on schedule yet, but I'm sure Lulu can get off.
In the background, you hear,
Tobler and Lulu down cleaning can go now.
Yes, Lulu. Thank you.
Hi.
she just zips back to the table.
Lulu here.
As for the sending stones, if we're going to be a group, we should probably divvy these up to the most competent members of the party. I vote Ezra gets 1. You have the most experience combat-wise and see far more worldly than the rest of us. I think that, if we're a group, I think you'd be the leader.
You'll see her, all of a sudden she just kind of rubs one of her arms and kind of rubs at her face a little bit. And if you're paying attention, actually, roll perception. DM doesn't mind me asking.
Absolutely. No. I'm loving this.
19.
Yeah. You see, she rubs her face a little bit. What you'll see, and it's hard to see unless you kind of see it, catch her in the right light. A web of very fine scars on her face, and I'm gonna make the guess that you know a little bit about anatomy.
Yeah.
They follow nerve path
Okay.
in her face. They're very, very faint, and they're just a little bit paler than her own skin. I'm not really good at being a leader, but I'll take one of the stones.
Okay. Are you good at taking direction, then?
And most of my life, I'm picky about who I take it from, though.
Who would you feel comfortable having the other stone?
Oh, that's the thing. We don't separate much. Usually, if you split into 2 groups, it's usually the same group. So I think for now, why don't you hold on to it, and we'll see how, as time goes on, how we divide ourselves. My general life experience is that when a group splits, it's usually the same. So, someone with some martial skill, someone with some magic, someone with some healing, go with one person, other workers will go with the other. I don't know you guys that well yet. I don't know how we're going to work much more than the convenience that we've faced thus far. So, you keep it for now and we'll see after that.
Okay. Sounds like a fair deal.
But, yeah, we gotta deal with the, what is he, a mayor here?
Job master or something.
It's pretty bad. When I first got here, I had every intention of going to the, mayor or whatever this place passes as, and looking for work as a guard or some such thing. But, yeah, no, I don't want that here. Places going places, but I'm not sure I want to go with it.
Yeah, that sounds a bit too. Have you ever been trapped in a corner, but you put yourself there?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Oh.
I got a bad feeling about this Hardin guy. He seems very politician-y.
Oh, I've dealt with lots of politicians. I'm usually the person that stands behind them and looms, stares at somebody. I've dealt with lots of them. They all have their They all have their levers. Once you know how to deal with them. This guy doesn't want to leave his house. If it comes to it, I'll tell him I'm gonna burn him out of his house. We'll get the gold one way or the other.
I
But
can
for
always
now,
break
we'll
down the
use,
door. I really want to break down the door.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But we'll use charm first and then muscle after.
I can do most of those, I think. I don't know, am I charming? Is that a thing? I talk a lot.
Sometimes that can pass for charming,
Awesome. I didn't know that worked.
but only sometimes.
Lulu one time tried to break down his chasing rat.
How'd that work out?
Lulu got scolded. But Lulu know he big scaredy dragon man. Man scared of drag. Coming hard.
You scared of the dragon?
Lulu, no, not Lulu. What was his name again?
Harbin.
Lulu secretly think Harbin's scared of Lulu because tiny dragon. But that's fun for Lulu. Lulu sometimes roar at night in your door. It's fun.
Lulu, that's adorable, and I love you.
What, love?
Oh boy. Let's go talk to Harbin. Maybe get another job. At the very least, get some coin.
Yeah, we've got our Rick saying, and we've did the work. So
Yep, we got both of them.
if there's any trouble.
All right.
Lulu proceeds to climb on Bryfon's shoulder and ask what love is, like 5 times in a row.
That's something to ask Mama.
Nice. Well played. All right, so you excuse yourselves. Toblin bids you a fond adieu and just kind of watches you very closely as you leave. A few of the locals kind of give you the side eye, just more out of curiosity. It's not a xenophobic little town. There's people from all over the northern half of the Sword Coast here, so it's not an unwelcoming place. It's more of a just making sure kind of look, or look of curiosity. And you make your way out the front door, and the sun is making its way into the sky, warming your face and your arms and the exposed skin as it blares brightly from the east. You've seen no sign of your monk friend this morning, Shokoli, but you would assume that they are probably off, maybe meditating or doing things monks do, working out, training, not sure. But so you can make your way down 1 block to the south, to the Townmaster's Hall. And again, it's a home built of sturdy walls made of stone. There's a pitched wooden roof. There's a bell tower kind of at the back of the building. It faces the south, so you kind of come down, make a left onto the street where the Townmaster's Hall is, and you're standing in front of the place. And there's like a little board where you had the job notices before, and there's one hanging up there in the same written script. But there's a group of people in front of the probably 6-8 people, look to be locals. And they seem to be a little annoyed, and you hear things like, "What are you going to do about the dragon?" And they're kind of, pounding on the door a little bit, and you can hear a familiar, pompous voice. "Oh, I'm sure that we will figure out exactly what to do, but I advise all of you to take great care and stay inside, which means you should exit the front stoop of the Townmaster's Hall at once. Keep safe, like I'm doing, and just get inside. I'm sure that there will be..." And then he stops. Anybody that care to roll me perception, please?
I will.
There we go. 13.
9.
Ethan got a 21.
17.
Okay, Ethan and Bryphon, you see an eyeball in the little peephole that's been cut in the door. and you see it, and then you see it kind of get a little bigger. Yes, and in fact, the very people we're possibly going to rely upon are going to be. I'm going to be meeting with them very soon. So if you could just all just run along, then that would be great. Because I have a very important meeting with some adventurers, heroes, if you will. That will, I'm sure, will help us with the dragon. So very well then. And they all, the people kind of look around, kind of muttering and shaking their heads like, boy, oh boy, here we go with this guy. Typical Harbin Wester bluster. And they kind of disperse and they look at you and, like, good luck with that guy kind of thing.
I think Ethan would be looking around to see if he could see the
So would
heroic
Ezra.
adventurers.
I never saw it, so just.
Wiley, are there any like small cracks in the door besides the people?
It's a nice heavy wooden door. There's a crack under the door. That's it's probably a good inch high. There's a gap all the way across the door. Under the door, you can if you look down there, you could see his feet.
Lulu will jump off Bry's shoulder and skitter to the door, the bottom of the door, and like rumble growl at it.
Lulu, I know you. Nice try. I saw you.
Big scary dragon.
I saw. Now that's not even appropriate. Don't make me.
Tiny dragon.
Don't make me talk to Mary again. Very funny. Now then, heroes, friends, tell me you had success bringing Adabra and the dwarves back to Fendolin.
I'm gonna just roll up the pieces of paper and shove it into the eye hole.
Oh, yeah.
Is it like one of those little things that you can slide across?
It's just a hole that he can look through. It's not it's not glass or metal or anything. It's just a peephole. There's a cover on the back side of it that's open.
You should open the door.
Oh no, I'm fine right where I am. Yes, let me see what you have there. What is that?
2 notes, one from the dwarves, one from Adabra, saying that they understand your concern, but
I'll take a look. Just a moment. And he kind of cuts you off brusquely, and you hear the sound of paper unfurling.
Can I take a very good look at that door?
Yes, perhaps an investigation.
I'm looking for weak points.
Okay.
Break it down.
There's iron hinges. It shows you that the door opens inward. So
Got
what?
20.
20? Yeah. So it's a sturdy oaken door. The hardware is all iron, black, dark. It's on some very sturdy looking hinges. Yeah, it looks like quite a sturdy door. I mean, this is the center of government for the village of Fandolin. So it's it's a stone building with a stout wooden door.
All right. I'll lean down to Lana and just say, I'm calling her Lana because I'm not going to call you the wrong name. Lana, I'm not going to be able to break that down very easily.
don't
But
worry.
this is also a government building. It's public. I'm sure there's some sort of shit we can say about that.
All right,
I
very
haven't
well,
done
very
it yet.
well.
She
So
lives there.
he starts talking over you, just doesn't really even whether he hears you or not. So very well. It appears that I owe you a total of 75 gold.
Yes.
By these notes, it sounds like everyone is well. I do wish they would have come to town to be safer than being out in the edge of the wild. But yes, let me get your coin for you. Do you have a moment while I get that?
Yes, but first, and I take 10-foot step back. Approach. And I cast command.
Okay.
Give me a wisdom
Is that a
save,
wisdom
please.
save? Yeah.
Yep. And do it at disadvantage. I'm using the dissonant whisper.
This isn't Craniodad's channel. You don't have any. Oh, do you have a spell called Dissonant Whispers that you're causing this to happen? Or?
No, I forgot the name of the
Yeah.
thing that we can roll advantage or disadvantage on.
Well, not remember. Now what you have are plus twos. Plus
Can I get
twos,
you to do
yes.
-2?
Sure. Let's do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
So you can burn a plus 2 to make me take a minus 2.
Yep. I
So
want that
you
man
are
to come outside.
you are down to 11 plus 2s. Okay. So what is your command?
My command is to approach, and since I'm 10 feet away, he has to move forward towards me in the most direct route, ending his turn within 5 feet of me.
Okay. You hear the rattling of the lock. You see the handle jiggle, and the door swings open inwardly, silently. And before you stands a human male. Looks to be in his late 40s. He's got the signs of some gray, kind of a receding hairline, little glasses. And he kind of looks and he looks around and he walks towards you. Who am I speaking with exactly?
Solana Brigalore of the Brigalore trading family. It's a pleasure to finally meet you outside.
Is that a Neverwinter? Refresh my memory.
It's completely bullshit.
Okay, very good. Yes. So he smiles. Harbin Wester, town master of Phandalin. Hadn't intended to be outside today. You haven't seen that dragon, have you? And he's a pretty slight of build, wearing, I wouldn't say noble's clothes, but probably finer clothing than you would expect to see, maybe in Phandalin. He has like a little chain he's got a vest and a kind of a nice buttony shirt and some woolen trousers, soft leather shoes, and he's holding a pouch.
Well, the only dragon I've seen today is Lulu, I'm afraid.
At the mention of that, Lulu, as quickly as she can, if allowed, will skitter up to his shoulder, and then jump over to Braxton's shoulder.
Make an acrobatics.
Okay, with pleasure. I'm turning her into a little hellion. Oh my god. Is it acrobatics?
Yeah.
14.
What is your movement?
My movement is 35, I believe.
35, so a little bit quicker than what people are accustomed to. What was your roll?
14.
14. Okay. So as you scurry up his side, he grabs you. So roll me strength. We're going to do a contested to see if he grabs you.
Is it a save or a straight roll?
Just a straight strength versus strength contested roll.
10.
Okay. So he goes to grab you, and you wriggle free, and you get on his shoulder, and you erp or whatever you do in his ear, and he's fussing about. And before he can do anything further, you're already over on Bryfon's shoulder. Lulu, how many times have I told you? Come in. Everyone, please. Come in, please. And he kind of ushers you to come in, and he's looking up to see if we've confirmed the existence of a white dragon. He stole a sheep from the farm just outside to the east of town, and so please come in. I do not wish to be made into dragon feed.
It's not that scary outside.
And I'll get you your money. He's holding a pouch. And he turns and walks into the... What's the duration of that spell, Shannon? Do you happen to know?
The duration is 1 round.
Okay. Yeah, and so he turns and walks back inside, kind of scratching his head. He seems a little like, why was I out there? And he goes behind a counter. So you enter, if you enter, looking in, it's wood floors. There's a kind of a service counter that he's already gone through the little door, and back to the service counter. So it's basically looks like a public waiting room. There's some chairs. There's a counter there with a service area where he might be able to, where he would take care of you and so forth. And make sure you close the door behind you. We don't want that thing knowing we're in here. Or yes, seems to be quite the cowardly fellow. Do come in. And he starts counting coins at the service window.
Well, I'm a bit concerned as to why you're hiding indoors. Do you really think a dragon can't just come and crash through this building?
Oh, this is a stone building. I'm sure it's sturdy enough. I don't know. I'm not certainly the mercenary type, and I'm definitely no hero, and I'm really one of the more important people here that needs to be kept safe, so I just feel like it's almost my duty to remain inside here. So, see, 25 for Gwyn, and he slides a pile of gold coin to you. And then a pile that appears to be twice the size of that, and 50 for the dwarves.
Yes.
So what do you think you might be able to help us with this dragon? I have an idea, if you're interested in hearing it.
Well, I'm assuming this idea is based solely on self-preservation.
Well, of course. You are all adventurers, and he kind of eyes you and looks you over, sees weapons and such. Knows that Bryphon is a good hunter, and then, well, Lulu. Where is someone missing? Don't you normally kind of a tall, feathery person? Please tell me they
He's,
weren't injured.
They're sunning at the moment, I believe.
Kind of looks around.
Somewhere.
I see. Well, yes. So this idea of mine, there's a notice outside. There's a place not too far from here where a clan of reclusive rock gnomes dwells. It's called Gnomengard. And they are renowned in the area for their crafting of items and tools and gadgetry. And they might have something that could be used to help defend against the dragon. He kind of looks at you to see if he's enticed you. And in fact, if you bring back something that I might be interested in, and I might be able to offer, say, up to 50 gold for a useful item.
Sarah, I'm going to be very blunt.
Well,
If
of
we
course.
go do this thing
Yes.
and go speak to the gnomes, they're going to require financial transaction for said item. So you need to pay us in advance. Two, if it's something that can defend you and this whole town against the dragon, we're going to need more than 50 gold.
Sure, he's concerned about the town, other than his own skin. Ezra, how tall is Lana? Delana?
Lana is. That's a good question. Hold on while I discreetly open up my description tab. Look, why didn't I write it down in the description tab? 5'5". She's 5'5".
Okay, well, Ezra's like around 6'5". She's a very big for a half orc, so she's just standing behind you. Behind and a little bit to the left, arms crossed, and now she's just flexing a little bit. She's looming, which she's very good at.
He looks at you and considers your counter offer. Cash up front, you say?
Well, in order to fund any purchase of an item that you might deem worthy.
Roll me persuasion.
Gladly. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. That's gonna be a 23.
Okay. Well, I don't even know if you're going to have any success or what they have up there, so I'll tell you what I would do. I would be willing to front you 25 gold to take with you. Because I don't even know what you'll be able to bring back, if anything. And at that point, we can haggle and negotiate a value for anything that you bring back that could be useful in dealing with this dragon. What say you to that?
I say, if you're going to brag about us to the town, if you're going to claim that we're an adventuring party
You heard
that's
that.
going to solve all these problems, that perhaps you should fund our little expedition. As you can see, my associate here, and I'm going to gesture to the very looming figure of Ezra. You see, she could use some better armor. Perhaps a better sword, if we're to accomplish this task and come back alive.
I've damn near worn him out.
We need to be better equipped. And sadly, even though we were just paid, I don't know if we have the funds for everyone to, say, get what we need.
He's been kind of dealing with you because you have stepped forward to be the leader in his, what it appears to be to him. And so when you make reference to Ezrealin, he kind of zooms out and kind of. Ezrealin, I don't know if you would like to make any sort of a roll. Or maybe intimidation's what you're looking for. Persuasion.
Not looking for persuasion exactly because she's just being there. She has a well-worn armor, well-worn sword. She looks like she knows how to do her shit. Therefore, she looks extremely competent and like this is the person you want to hire because they've been at it for so long. They've worn their stuff out.
It's probably more
and
like
not dead.
Probably more like intimidation than sounds like.
All right, try that. 17. It was very bad for a second.
Oh, well. I would do this on the condition that you sign a writ that you will return to the hall here on your return from visiting Nomengard. Because how would I know that you're not just going to walk off with my gold?
Because we're professionals.
But I don't rightly know you that well.
And we don't know you that well, but you're asking us to
I'm
do
the
an awful lot of
town-
risk taking.
Town master, and he kind of like wants you to regard his palace. You know, I'm the town master. You don't need to know. You just know because I'm the town master. I mean, they know where to find me if I lie to people and cheat them. It's not hard to find. I'm not an imposing figure. I'm a businessman. I'm a man of policy and decision.
And I'm a woman of business, and my business is making sure me and my associates stay alive. So yes, we will return with the items and any extra flush cash we have. We will make sure that this deal goes off without a hitch.
I
And you
will
supply us with the items that we need.
I will provide you 50 gold
Mm-hmm.
to be put toward the purchase of something you bring back, whatever that may or may not be. Now, granted, if you return with nothing, you will owe 50 gold.
Naturally.
Very well. I'll draw this up. In fact, I've got my scribe here. Maybe you could come back after lunch and we will sign this and we'll be... Do you have a company name? Are you chartered in Waterdeep or Neverwinter?
We're in the process of doing so. We'll provide you with the proper information when we come back.
Well, we could see about chartering you here. You could be our first official chartered adventure party from Phandalin. We've not had such a need for such things, but clearly, with the dragon in the region, if you turn out to be the heroes I might have alluded to earlier, then perhaps a charter from Phandalin might be a possibility.
Hero is a strong term, but it's something we'll have to discuss. I can't speak for the entire party. This is a matter of life and death.
Very well. I'll have my man draw up the paperwork, and if you'll stop back after lunch, and that's going to be like an hour and a half. It's already late morning. We'll have you on your way to Nomengard.
And as for financial assistance with outfitting this expedition, sure, there's the money to buy you your weapon and or item, but in order for Ezra here to do the maximum amount of damage to make sure we get there safely, she's going to need to be better equipped. It honestly is an investment in the future of Phandalin if we are to be the first mercenary group that you send out.
He kind of looks at you. I will give the party an additional 25 gold. That is for equipment and other supplies.
Thank you. I appreciate your understanding in this trying time. Honestly, when it comes to the safety of a town, money should be no object. What matters is your safety and the safety of Phandalin.
These coins are no small amount. We do what
No,
we can.
of course I'm not trying to belittle any contribution. and I'm sure the people would like to know how much you're willing to invest in their safety.
Yes. Well, come back after lunch, and we'll sign your lives away. And he kind of chuckles. And we'll get you your coin, and you can be on your way to Nomengard.
Certainly. In fact, we can go buy supplies right now, I think. Or at least take a look and see what Lenine has.
Very well. Sounds good.
See you after lunch. And she'll curtsy and then turn and walk out.
And he did give you your 75 gold.
Yep.
From your 2 jobs you completed, and he gave you an additional 25 gold to take to supply yourselves.
Yep.
Once we're out in the square, everyone out of habit will kind of like gather everybody, just kind of like Mother Henning from behind, or not Mother Henning, but kind of bodyguarding from behind, kind of putting everybody into an area where she can keep an eye on. So myself and Alana and Ethan discussed it this morning. But I think, and she'll just kind of give them a quick look. I think we're going to offer the invitation if you want to form a party. The formal term for it is an adventuring company. You all interested?
That mean leave town long time?
Sometimes. But it means gold and fun. Sometimes fun. Not always.
Lulu would like to make stash bigger.
Right?
She kind of thinks it over for a second. Well, I'm in. How about you, Lulu?
That was quick to decide.
Well, we need the extra money. It might help Mama.
True. Maybe Lulu can find Rhodey.
Yeah, we'll be on the
Tell
road.
them.
You'll be able to ask more people questions.
Tell him to come back home.
The problem is, for me personally, anyways, I don't like him. I'm not sure I want to be registered under this town or him, or give him the ability to brag about us as if we owe him for our whatever. But
Under Scaredy Man, no, but Vandalin okay place.
Politicians don't last forever, you know.
True. There's always a place to start.
Exactly. And plus, I personally don't like him either. But I like the money he's giving us.
True. And he's hasn't been hard to get extra money out of if you flex right. Or have the right words.
Yeah,
See,
that was a much easier sell than I thought it was going to be.
So you basically accepted payment in advance for 50 gold toward some sort of item, useful item that you may or may not secure from the gnomes. And then you also got 25 gold to supply yourselves. And the writ he's going to have you sign will just state that you plan to return or be considered breach of contract.
Also, if we are going to do this, we didn't need a name to put on paperwork. I'm going by what I've seen. I've never been in a venturing company before, but I've been part of organizations. Names are important.
Yes. I've always found alliteration to be quite handy. You might want to think about something along those lines.
Anybody have any ideas to throw around?
Lulu not feel comfortable leaving till talk to Mama and Papa.
Of course, Lulu. We understand.
Got an hour and a half to kill. Why don't you guys go see them? And we can go start looking at some armor.
Sounds good.
Okay. So Bryphon and Lulu, you want to make your way back to the apothecary. You know that by this time it will be open, and that's where you would find Mary. When you enter, the little bell tinkles when the door opens, and she's busy helping a small family of halflings. There's some local farmers that you know. And actually, when you walk up, they're telling this gripping tale of how this huge white dragon swooped onto their farm and stole one of their fat sheep and flew off in the direction of the Sword Mountains. And she smiles when she sees you and kind of gives you one of these and points to her customers, and a couple of them turn around and, oh, Lulu, Bryphon, good to see you. It's looks like the sisters. They're 16 and 17, and they're in buying various apothecary type things, salves and ointments and tea and things of that nature.
Oh, so we overheard the sheep talk.
Yeah, they were having that conversation as you were walking up to the counter where your mom was taking care of them.
Oh no, sheep picking. Lulu like sleep in their wool. No.
Oh, don't worry, Lulu. We have more sheep, but yes, it's a hard loss. Anytime we lose an animal, it's a big loss from meat and wool. We're just glad everybody's okay.
And Mama, where Papa?
Oh, he's still out in the woods, dear. What can I do for you?
To talk to you and Papa.
Okay, well, let me finish up here, and then we'll have us a chat. And she finishes with the two sisters, and they smile and give Lulu a little head pat and a little fist bump with Bryphon, and they're on their way out because they're just a little bit younger than you, I think. Bryphon, yeah. How old is your character?
I actually think she's like 200.
Okay, so they're a lot younger than you. But I mean, even in elven years, they're late teens. You're a young adult. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well. So
Somewhere between Lulu and Bryphon in age.
tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. The little bell rings, and they go out the door happily. So what is it, ladies? What are you doing? You ready for lunch?
Well, Lulu always ready to have lunch, but we talked to both you and Papa.
Papa's not here, sweetie.
It's important.
Well, what is it? You can tell me.
And then Bryphon looks at Mary and says, we really need to talk to both of you at the same time.
Something happened?
It's
Well,
not.
Lulu totally not scared.
I forget his name again.
Harbin.
Arbin again. Just saying.
She kind of gives you that cross look. Lulu, now I don't want to hear from him again that you've been mischievous. We've talked about this.
No, Lulu never mischievous.
So what is it that's troubling you? Or what's so important that you need to talk with both of us?
Well, you know the group that we recently went on some adventures with?
Yes, they seemed. I believe we met one or two of them when you came to get some things. Yes, before you went to see Adabra. Yeah.
Well, after talking it over with them, they want us to join their group.
Oh, what sort of group is this you're forming or joining?
We're like an adventure group where we basically do things for gold.
Oh,
Require us to be gone for a while sometimes.
oh, dear. Is it dangerous?
Well,
I mean, not that I don't trust you. Just Mary worries.
That is why we wanted to talk to you before we made an official agreement.
I see.
Because like Lulu could go out find Big Brother, maybe.
Her face kind of darkens for a second when you mention. Is it Rod?
Rhodey.
Rhodey, I apologize.
Or Rhodey Lahan, but Rhodey.
Yeah, Rhodey. Well, I mean, I have faith that Shantea will see him home safely. And I have faith that Shantea will bless and look upon both of you. But I will worry. But I think Papa would approve. You're both old enough and can take care of yourselves. Would you be coming back here between adventures?
Yes.
Like what sort of things are you doing for gold? That sounds a little interesting. And she's giving you like the mother look, like you better not be shitting me.
Definitely not scaring Harbin, Mama.
That's a good start.
I guess mercenary work? And then Bryson kind of shrugs her shoulders a little bit, kind of steps back a little.
Like, do you already have an adventure lined up, a job or whatever?
Oh yeah, we have to go see Gnome Place.
Gnome place, Gnomengard? Good grief! What are you doing up there? Those little gnomes are odd little things. I mean, they make some interesting and not so interesting contraptions, but what will take you to Gnomengard? What are you doing up there?
Scary Dragon Man wants item to protect town, and also him cowards up.
Oh, Harbin. I see. Okay. And you can kind of see that everything, she's kind of putting two and two. So Harbin wants you to go see if you can find something useful from the gnomes that could help us with this dragon problem.
If Lulu follow common correct, yes?
I see. That makes sense now. Okay, and he's willing to pay you for this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I trust Harbin. He's a little odd, and you're right, he's a coward. But he's never brought anything bad upon the village since he's been town master. How long do you think he'll be gone on this little... It's a good 5 to 6 hours out to Gnomengard from here. When will you be leaving?
Lulu looks to Bryson. I guess sometime after lunch, maybe?
Lunch. Yes. How does some noodle soup sound?
Sounds great.
And some deer meat that Bryson got last week.
Mama know when Papa be home?
Probably tonight, sweetie. And she heads to the back. There's a kitchen. They put so much time in at the apothecary that you've taken meals here before. There's a small kitchen in the back, and you can hear her banging around doing getting things going. You also, as soon as she mentions noodle soup, you realize that the warm, friendly, comfortable vibe that's going on in the apothecary is kind of brought to you by the smell of soup or something rather savory. And so she comes out and says, "Have a seat at the counter." And she puts 2 bowls of soup down. "Let me get your deer meat together here, and I'll be right back." And she wanders off into the back, and a few minutes later comes back out with some dried deer. Puts that down with your soup and brings you some bread. Anything else I can get for you before you dig in?
No, I think I'm okay.
So do you think this will be dangerous work? I mean, going to Gnomengard shouldn't be. I mean, they're strange. I mean, mind yourselves. They're odd up there. They're different, but dangerous isn't a word I would use. Of course, getting there and coming back, goodness knows what you might run across out in the wilds, but any other ideas of things you might be doing?
Well, Bryson kind of looks off. Actually, we're not too sure. It's But I think me and Lulu can handle ourselves. I mean, I go in the woods all the time.
Yes, and you're an excellent hunter, and I know you can defend yourself, and I know Lulu is good with her spear, and Shantae has provided Lulu with divine magics. And
Lulu's face is in the bowl of soup, just
Yeah.
like.
and we're gonna say a prayer to Shantae before you depart. So I think Papa would be okay with this. Maybe when you come back, tell me how it goes, and tell me all about your adventure, and we'll see about. Often. He likes you. He should pay you more, but he likes you.
Mm,
So you eat your lunch, and as you're finishing up, she comes around, and you hop down off your stools at the counter, and she gets you in that little circle that you make when you pray to Shantae, and she lights some incense and lets it burn on the stone floor of the apothecary, and she kind of wafts it up. Shantae, we ask that you watch over my girls and give them the wisdom to see around corners and through thicket and over hill, and protect them and guide their thinking. Anything you two want to say to Shantae? She looks more to Lulu because she knows Bryphon's jam isn't really necessarily a lot of prayer, but
I'm drawing a blank action. Lulu be best big dragon, little dragon. Lulu tiny. Lulu be best tiny dragon for Shantae.
well, just keep them safe. She just kind of clumsily ends the prayer and kind of chuckles to herself and lets the incense kind of waft around you. Okay, so I've been keeping a couple of healing potions for emergencies, and I think what I'd like to do is give them to you since you're going to be going on this little adventure. And she scuttles into the back and comes back out with two potions. You know, the pink kind of viscous. They're in potion vials with stoppers. Each of you take one. And I know,
Thanks,
Lulu,
Mama.
you can do some healing, and if this can help your party, whether it's for you or for members of your party, you use them how you need to. And I will get them replenished with a Dabra. Just don't tell anyone I keep any healing potions here because I don't sell them here. Adabra does.
Lulu
Okay.
good at keeping secrets.
Yes, you are. Very well then. I will tell Papa what you're up to, and we'll expect to see you. Maybe, let's see, and she starts to do some math. You'll probably get there after supper time if you leave after lunch. I don't know how long you'll be there, what your business is, but I assume it'll be sometime tomorrow before we see you. Sound about right?
Maybe?
Yep, sounds right to me.
Okay. She kisses each of your heads and hugs you tightly in a big group hug. And you can see her kind of wipe a tear. She fusses with her apron a little bit nervously, and you can see her even look a little bit to her herbs in the cabinet. You know, that's kind of to her. That's her material closeness to Shantae. Very well. Be careful now, and be helpful to your friends, your other people in your group.
Are there any Are there any like flowery vines in the shop? Apothecary?
Most of what she has is dried. There's no real decor in
Oh.
there. It's kind of a Spartan, it's a wood frame structure with a stone floor, and it's just kind of cut stone that's been quarried, and it's not like smooth polished or anything. And it's shelves and cabinets. There's nothing really fresh, right? It's all used for various poultices, salves, powders. She's got like mortar, pestle, that sort of thing. Chops things finely. Nothing's really growing in there or fresh in that regard.
I had a question. With Druidcraft,
Yes.
it says you can instantly make a flower blossom, seed pod opener, leaf bud bloom. I assume that has to be from an actual plant.
Yeah. I would have to say that'd have to be like a living plant. Like there's probably something outside.
Alright. Well, never mind then.
Okay. Well, you two take care of each other and your friends. Can't wait to hear all about your adventure.
Hi, Mama. She's out.
Bye, Mama.
Love you. She waves, and she watches you as you leave, and you can see her come to the window and watch as you walk away from the apothecary. Okay, so yes.
Sorry, no.
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna say,
All right, so Solana,
Mm-hmm.
Ezralyn, and Ethan, what are you doing?
I guess we'd probably go to Lion Coster place? Lion Shield Coster.
Yeah.
And get Ezra outfitted with some shit.
Okay, yeah, so you don't have any trouble finding yourselves. At the Lion Shield Costers, excuse me. So you can go in, the door's unlocked, there's smoke coming from the back where the small forge to be located, and you come in, and sure enough, old lost her name,
Lenine?
sorry, Lenine comes ambling out when she hears the door slam. Oh, well, good to see you back safe and sound from your little trip. What can I help you with?
Well, we are being hired to do some important work, so we need to be outfitted with some better armor and weaponry. I also might have some items of interest if you are looking to buy anything.
Items of interest, you say? Well, so must have been a good trip. Come. And she meets you at the. There's kind of like this metal table that might ordinarily be used for tool work or whatever that isn't at the front counter where she exchanges money, but more, like, come. And she unfolds a piece of cloth. Lay your items here. Let's see what you have.
Well, we have, and I take out the ritual dagger, and it comes with a nice little sheath. How do you feel about gems?
I don't deal much in gems, but if you want, you could visit with. Oh darn it! You could visit over at Barthen's Provisions. They would be more probably into purchasing things like gems, and maybe even. And she kind of rolls her eyes. Maybe even Harbin Wester might purchase them from you.
Oh, we're already bleeding that man dry. I don't think
he keeps a fair amount of coin on behalf of the village, and he might wish to exchange it into gem. Easier to travel with.
Good idea. I guess all we have then is the dagger. The rest we have is gems and possible scrolls.
Let's see the dagger.
Here you are.
Yeah. And so she lays it on the cloth, and she digs around and pulls out kind of like that eyepiece that a jeweler might wear. And she looks at it, and onyx in the pommel, very nice. I don't recognize the maker's mark. And she kind of shows you, and you can't tell with the naked eye, but it's some sort of indentation or marking in the cross piece of the dagger. Ezra, you would know a maker's mark is anytime somebody forges or makes something out of metal, they have a little stamp, kind of like a brand that they indicate. And a lot of the people in a region might know each other's maker's marks, but I don't recognize this one. I'll tell you what, I would give you 45 gold for this blade. It's sharp. It's in good condition. The onyx alone is probably worth 15 to 20. It's in there nice and firmly. And you can see, as gruff of a person as she is, she almost loses focus on you and is really absorbed in this blade. Just really likes it. She just very into her work.
Does that sound like a good deal to you guys? I don't want to make any decisions on stuff we found together alone.
Works for me. Ethan?
Fine.
All right. I guess we can put that towards whatever we purchase here today.
Very well. So 45 gold credit to purchase other gear, I suppose. So what exactly do you need?
Well, I could probably use some better armor. This padded stuff with a lot of holes in it I've had to patch up.
I see that, yes. And your patchwork leaves a bit to be desired, but it's kept you alive, so well done. I do have some padded armor here that is in tip-top shape, and she kind of walks you over to an area where there are various like padded leather and studded leather armor, suits of and different arrangements, different sizes, that sort of thing. So feel free to look around and see if there's anything here that you like.
I was actually thinking more of like half plate, if you have any.
Oh my goodness! Well, let's have to take you in the back. I'm kind of curious though. Half plate's going to cost you several hundred gold for a set of half plate.
Several hundred.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, like 700 and some probably. She kind of looks at you, not wanting to be too rude, but clearly a little suspicious of whether or not you can float that kind of cash.
I don't have it. Lana.
I think I'll stick with padded armor for now, If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Certainly makes sense, especially if you're on a budget or anything. She kind of looks at you. What about? She kind of comes over and lifts your arm up a little bit. It's almost like she's inspecting you for size and fit. Kind of roughly. What about? I have a suit of studded leather, and those studs they'll turn a blade. They'll offer you much better protection than the padded leather. And I could probably sell that to you for 40 gold.
What about chainmail?
Chainmail. Well, let's see. I do have a few suits. Chainmail, it really kind of depends on, if you just get the shirt, it's 45 to 50 gold pieces. If you get a full suit of chain, it'll be 75 for the the tabard that hangs down in the front, so forth, the legging wraps.
First let's see what my good friend Ezra needs. I think she is in need of more than I am at the moment.
She looks over at Ethan and Ezralyn, not sure which one is Ezra.
My half-orc friend.
Ah, yes. So what are you looking for there?
This is kind of point to her well-used.
Yeah, she steps right up and starts looking at it and kind of snorts. Whew, you've seen some action.
A bit.
This I'm guessing this has served you well though, and she's kind of pulling at things. What type of armor is it again, Ezra?
It's chainmail.
Chainmail. Yeah, and she's kind of lifting and inspecting the leather thonging and so forth. Well, this was well made. Neverwinter, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I've had it for about 10 years.
Yes, it's showing its age, but by the looks of you, it served you well. But yes, it's a little tired. Would you be trading this perhaps? Because there's good material here.
I'm willing to trade it. Yeah, if you can give me a discount on newer, or if you have
Sure,
anything
sure.
fun,
Why don't we have you step out of that armor? Is that okay? Are you comfortable doing that?
fine, and
She'll help you doff the armor real
out
quick.
of all of it.
Yeah. And she kind of lays it out on the table and immediately starts to inspect it. What about you there, skinny boy? And she kind of smirks and winks at you.
Oh, I'm just here for the good company.
Right. She goes back to looking at your chainmail. I could give you 25 gold for this. There's enough material here that we could do some things with this. And she shows you, she goes, look how good this thonging is. This leather thonging is, I mean, I can see it's been sweat and bled upon and so forth, but look how sturdy that is. And she's like, no, look. And she holds it over to Ethan. No, look at it. Look how good this is.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yes. So there's good material here. So I would offer you 25 gold for this suit of armor. So you could trade it and pay 50 for a full chain suit.
Yeah, I'll take that. What do you have here for larger swords or larger two-handed weapons?
Ah, yes. We do have some things in a side room here. I can take you over there and show you. She looks over at Solana. Did you make any decision on that armor?
Oh, I'm more concerned about Ezra. I think I'll be fine with what I have.
As soon as she hears you hem and haw, she kind of turns away and walks over with Ezra. Let me take you in here. Let's see. I do have this glaive, and it looks a little notched, but I could get an edge on this. We just took this one in a couple weeks ago, and I haven't really messed with it. And the handle is notched a little bit, and the blade looks like it needs a little bit of work. We could put a good edge on this in a matter of moments. So I've got this glaive here. I also have, and she shows you a big great axe. That one's in cleaner, much better. Looks like it's ready for sale. And then she also has 3 different great swords and a handful of long swords. So she's got a small armory here. We do see some travelers and adventurers, and you might be surprised to see this much equipment here, but we do sell. We have a good name here, and we sell quite a bit.
All right, what's the best looking out of all of them?
As far as
she'll pick it up and she'll test the edge with her fingers and everything like that.
And she steps back and kind of shows you there's like a leather fighting practice dummy thing if you want to get after it a little bit. Feel free to test the blade, test the balance, the weight, so forth. The long swords look good. The great axe is nice. The glaive is probably the worst of all of them, but there's definitely a nice long sword or two in the pile, and a nice great sword or two, and the great axe is in good shape as well. They look well crafted. They look they've been oiled. They've been sharpened. The leather is nice and snug. Like several of them look like they've been re-wrapped as far as the pommel and the grips and so forth. So they're like new weapons. They're in good shape.
I just can't bring myself to part with mine. Maybe I'll come back after I've thought about it some more.
Okay, that's fair. Understandable. Your best friend should be your blade. I've always said, the one thing you can rely on beside yourself is your blade.
Yep.
Do you need an edge? While you're here?
Want a shirt?
I'd be happy
right
to.
ahead.
I would
It's been
do
a
that.
while
I would do that for free. Since
since
you're
her hand
looking
over
at.
her greatsword.
Okay. Yeah, and she picks it up and looks at it. I mean, oh, it's a nice weapon. Just seen some battles, and she disappears in the back with it. And you hear her barking orders to people, and you hear some pounding stop.
She'll just kind of like shout after, "My father made it."
Yeah, it's a nice blade. Well crafted. But it needs a good edge. So after a few minutes, she comes back out and brings you your sword, and it's been cleaned, sharpened, and oiled. If you, I know it sounds like you don't have time right now, but if you wish, we can rewrap the pommel for you. Restrap that with leather sometime.
Maybe
Or-
another time, but right now
Right.
we got to get on the road.
Yeah, very well.
And
So
she'll offer her hand for like a one of those handshakes.
yeah, she gives you a very firm handshake. Very nice, good, excellent, good sword arm there. So, can we get that armor together for you?
Yes, please.
Very well. So the armor will be 50 gold, and I'll take yours. And you should feel good about the way you've maintained your gear. As old as these are, and as well made as they still have seen a lot of action. And you're able
Oh,
to.
they're definitely serving me well.
And she gets the chain suit for you. Let me help you so we can get the strapping and thonging at the right places and get you comfortable. This will just take maybe half an hour to get you fitted out. It's part of the price. So you see her just get busy fitting Ezra for her new suit of chainmail. It's very shiny.
All right. So for the sword and the armor, how much is that going to cost?
All she got was the armor,
Oh,
and it's 50 gold, and she's trading in her chain.
right.
Does anyone else need a weapon of any kind or anything else sharpened? I presume you're doing some work for Harbin, and she kind of rolls her eyes.
Yes. Actually, you know what? With our remaining store credit and my gold that I have,
Yeah, you basically only owe her 5 gold because you had the 45
yeah.
in credit from the dagger.
So let's see. Should be able to get actually some scale mail if you have it. Actually, no, wait, hold on. Not scale mail. Let's see. A chain shirt if you have it.
Chain shirt? Yes, I've got a couple of them. They're both going to afford you the same protection. One's got a kind of a fancy bit of filigree and so forth on them. That one's 55 gold, but I have a very solid chain shirt that's actually a little smaller that should fit you very nicely. And I'd throw in a leather kind of a jerkin to wear under it so that you don't get chafed and scored from the chain links. And I
Sure.
would sell that to you for 45 gold.
That sounds doable. I would gladly do that.
Very well. Any weapons? Any other whetstone, oils, anything else you need?
No, after my last job of getting my sickle sharpened here, it doesn't really need it. You did an excellent job.
Good. Glad the edge held. We pride ourselves. We're not the friendliest, I've been told, but we're fair with our prices and we do good work, and we're trustworthy. We were here when the original group from Neverwinter came down to start Phandalin back up, and we're rather fond of these people here. We want to see people safe. And if you recall, she was really suspicious of you when you first came in there. Like, was nervous about selling you anything or doing anything for you until she knew you weren't going to cause issues. So you could tell she is all about this little town. Is there anything else we can get for you? There's traveling clothes, but it's mostly armor, weapons, tack and harness, and clothes.
I mean, I think I'm all set. How about you, Ethan? Is there any armor you wish to have?
Nothing I need.
Well, then, I believe as far as our current party goes, we should be all good.
Very well. Well, I wish you all the blessings, and I hope to see you back in town safe and sound after you finish whatever it is you're doing for Harvin. She kind of rolls her eyes again.
Yeah. I'm sure it won't be as hard as he's making it sound.
Nothing ever is. He's a bit of a simpleton. He's a good man, but he doesn't understand things. And a bit of a coward, but a good man. He's trustworthy. Otherwise, we'd have run him out of here a long time ago.
Suppose that's fair.
Yeah, what you've been able to glean from the personality, the culture here in Phandalin, people are from all around the upper, the northern Sword Coast. They trust each other. They're blunt. They're only mildly suspicious, but they're quick to trust if you demonstrate you're trustworthy. Because there are no locals. They've only been locals since they came here from wherever they were. They haven't all been born and bred here, so it's not all creepy, xenophobic small town. Yeah. Very well. We've got Ezra. It is right. We've got you all set. Does the armor feel okay?
Move around, jiggle a little bit, move arms. Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you.
All right, very well.
How much do I actually owe you?
It was a total of 50 gold. Then you had the 45 credit from the dagger, so 5 gold on your armor, and then 45 for the chain, so a total of 50 gold, and the dagger.
I'll take care of it.
Okay, so she takes you over to kind of the service counter, where money changes hands, kind of through a little window type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, you've noticed now in the apothecary and in this establishment, the Lion Shield Coster, and in the Town Master Hall, all the woodwork and millwork seems to be of the same make. Right? So, just interesting to point that out. So she takes your money. We'll be here should you need anything further.
All right.
Very well.
As we're leaving, I stop and I'm like, oh, that reminds me. I split up the gold from our job payment, so we each get, including Shokoli, Bry, and Lulu, we should each get about 12 and a half gold. So here you guys go.
Brian, Lulu, I assume you're just going to head to the Town Master's Hall. Meet the party back there.
Yes.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, so Bryphon and Lulu, you're waiting outside Town Master's Hall. Ezra, Ethan, and Solana, you wander up, and Bryphon and Lulu are outside the Town Master's Hall.
I would do the same and give them their cut of the treasure from our jobs.
Great, so you each get 12 gold and 5 silver. That would be 12 and a half gold. A little bit of pocket change. All right, so what would you like to do?
IRL, we could probably use a break.
Well, I'm ready to wrap the session after you get your writ signed.
Oh, okay.
Because that gives us the opportunity. Oh, I bet you didn't see my message in Zoom. Sorry.
Oh, I might have missed it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
your DM is starting to sync. And I think this is a good time to stop because that way, hopefully, we'll have Shokoli back with us next week. And you can all depart as a group for Nomengard. So you'll be able to get your writ signed. He doesn't give you any grief, just kind of talks through it with you. And you're good to go.
All right.
So next session we can pick up right out in front of the Town Master Hall. You have your signed writ. There were 2 copies, one for him to keep, one for you to keep. He gives you the 50 gold to take with you in a small pouch for whatever you need to do in order to hopefully get anything useful from the gnomes. And so with that, I think we can wrap our session right there. I think that'll be a good place to stop. That way we can pick Abby back up with us. Yeah, so let's do quick outros. Why don't we just go around the horn real quick? Shannon, why don't you just tell us anything you want to, anything you got coming up, what you're up to, where we can find you?
Best thing to keep informed with all the weird stuff that I do is to just follow me on Twitter, Shanalogic. I'm in a Saturday game over at Cranio Dad's channel with both Wiley and Miss Misery. And then I'm here every Wednesday when we get to play. So that's all I really got going on at the moment.
That's plenty. Good stuff. All right. Ezra, Ms. Misery.
I'm not really active anywhere other than here, and again on Radio Dad's channel on Saturdays. And I'm active on Twitter. That's about it.
Very good. All right, Ethan.
So I'm here every Wednesday. I'm nowhere else. WikiVA on Twitter and Discord. My Twitter is down below.
All right. Thank you, sir, very much. Lulu.
I'm not active really anywhere except this place on Wednesdays. Other than that, just trying to stay sane during quarantine.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Bryphon Sangochan.
Well, like the others, I'm not really active besides on here on Wednesdays. I was gone for a while because of a back injury, but now that I'm better, hopefully I will be here for a while.
So glad
That's
you're back. So glad you're back. Yay! I'm glad you're feeling better. So, all right. Well, I'm Scott. I'm Wily Hobbit. We have D&D Wednesdays at 7 with this group. We've got a new game that just started streaming Sunday. The schedule is down below if you want to look at it, but Sunday at 1. Greyhawk Tales. We're playing Pathfinder First Edition in the gritty, grim, dark world of Gary Gygax's creation, Greyhawk, the original D&D setting. And then on Monday night, coming up, we have our final session. Kayla and I are together in a game with Kentucky Hawkeye, and Sean Van Dam is the DM and the adventure writer. And we've been playing a little Zweihander, just trying to get Sean's adventure a little exposure and get people to see what Zweihander's all about. And Kayla and Robert and I are all new to the system, and we've had a good time with that. And we've died a couple times and had severe burns, and it's creepy, and it's been fun. So if you like Grim and Perilous, that'll be Monday nights. And then keep your eyes tuned for an announcement. We've got a new game that'll be starting up in a couple of weeks or so on Monday nights after Zweihander wraps up. So feel free to join our Discord. I just dropped that into the chat. And we're going to head over and raid a kind of a new friend of mine. Her name's Max. And it's that girl at that place. She's streaming right now, so I'm going to get that raid started. She's a new member of our community, and she plays in our Sunday game. So everybody have a great rest of your week. It's just going to take a couple seconds for that raid. So make sure you stop over and say hello to Max before you log out. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you right back here in Phandalin next Wednesday.